Megan. I'm a photographer and watercolor artist with chronic health challenges, POTS, and wrist strength issues. And this is what I traveled with recently. I stuck this whole little bag here in my suitcase. And then I figured out what clothes to add after that. This lived at the dining room table. When you have POTS, it really helps to not be getting up and moving around and, oh, I have to go grab one thing. The one thing I realized that I didn't have was loose sheets of paper. Thankfully, my mom had those because I wanted my cousin to get a chance to try core. It whooshes on the page and like takes off and does really fun things. But I didn't have any paper. I only had books. I tried to make sure that I brought some books that didn't have, that weren't full, that had some pages available to paint in. Core travels really well and won't become a mess like honey-based paints would in your suitcase that you put in the hot car. And then these are also, this is this palette of colors from that Italy book. There's an Italy one, and there's a Spain one, and there's a France one. It's Watercolor Trip 2, and like Italy or something. And then I took that. I took pictures of it so that I could put it on my iPad, so that I could not have to travel with additional heavy material. I could just use my iPad. This is the color palette that's for that. And two of those books have the same color palette, and one of them only has one different color. I could make a video about that if you want. But these are rosas. They're the ones that come dried down. I haven't had a problem traveling with those. They haven't melted and gotten all over the place in the heat, even though they're honey-based. But, March travel to Florida, not summer. Use at your own risk. Honey usually is not very safe to be traveling with. And then this is a core. This one's a core. Then we've got a couple of Da Vinci's. I think one of those is a Daniel Smith, the carbazole violet at the end. And then in here, I've got my yellow thingy that holds brushes. Can you see that okay? Yes. Okay. This is the edge of the filming. Right? Are we filming? Okay, good. I keep my screen so warm and dark because I get migraines that I never know for sure. Am I filming? Am I not filming? This is a filbert. It's a golden taklon. That's Midas Touch. I got this on Amazon. Wherever it go. And then two Da Vinci Casaneo brushes. This one's my flat brush, which I'm sure you've seen in literally every video. It has a chunky handle for a smaller brush head size because the handle is a travel handle. If you compare this to where's my 3/4 brush? Oh, I stuck it in a toothbrush holder. This is a toothbrush holder I had, and it held my brush. That's why I can't find my brush. It's got the same size handle as a 3/4, but look how much smaller the brush head is. And then you just are careful to do big, broad strokes if you have wrist strength issues like I do. And then you can watercolor with a travel brush. And I end up using this travel brush just as my regular everyday brush. But this fits in here. So as long as it's not mashing the tip of the brush, and there's an air hole in there because it's for a toothbrush, and then I guess I would travel with it like that. I didn't take that with me. I just rediscovered that that's where my brush was. Okay. But anyway, that's my flat brush. And then I think I made a video on this, but I haven't gotten it edited yet. Let me show you. Are you ready? You can't see. I'm super excited. Look at this. 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 It's a quill. It's a travel quill. I found this. Was for sale Okay, so I got this brush, the flat one, in my first month of painting and like used only that. And then I was like, I kind of want the quill version. And that was like 3 years ago. I just got this for Christmas. I'm really excited about this. I'm sure I made a video on it. It does really good big broad strokes too. Holds a lot of water in there. Oh, look how pretty that is. It's kind of weird to just hold it like that. Like the other half of it, and it's got the same size handle, so I can use it. And then those were in here, and when I was at the table, the books were in here like this, and then I stuck this upright, and I think I put it over here next to the water, like that. And so I could, you know, reach over, grab a palette from one of these front pockets. I showed you these 2 palettes earlier. I think I opened this one. Look at this. We stuck little dots of the paint. So these ones, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one came in this. This is like the bright colors one. High chroma, bright core awesomeness colors. And then poured some tube paint in here for these. And then poured tube paint here, and then as they dried, we just kind of pressed them down, and they became little buttons in the middle. So I've got the earth colors in the middle, and the warm colors on the top, and the cool colors on the bottom, and then it ends with like a burnt umber kind of color. Burnt umber, burnt sienna, kind of a yellow ochre. The transparent yellow oxide is the yellow ochre kind of color. It's more similar to like an amiata sienna or something in that above titanium. Watercolors, I could talk about that forever. And then I don't know, do you actually care about specifically what colors I took? If you do, I will make a video on that. You let me know. Then these are my books. This is a Paul Rubens book. These are the colors that are for the Italy book that I figured out. And there was more figuring out. That was too much handwriting. That was with my left hand. I taught myself to write with my left hand because I can't write with my right hand anymore. It'll hurt. And then I tried to take, whoa, I painted that forever ago. I remember being at the park and painting that. That was like years ago. But lots of color mixing. I think when I'm feeling bad or when I'm traveling or whatever, I just like paint mountains and paint color swatching. That's what I was going to say. When I'm feeling bad, I just do color swatching. I need some tea. This book's old enough that I haven't stuck a sticker on it. This must have been the first one because I found it in a bag. I've been putting dates and when I start a new book. Look at this sticker on this. Isn't that cute? This one is the Tumuarta. It also doesn't have a date in the back. It's so strange. Anyway, there's things in there. That's kind of fun. This was a really fun thing to do. It's kind of glazing. I liked this one. Circles are always fun. I mean, I actually left the bookmark in this one, which is strange. Okay, this one, which is also Tim Martin. It's a little square one. This one I got for my birthday. Look at this. I like the way that turned out. Oh, this one's Potentate. I thought this was a Tim Martin book. I guess the other square one I have is Tim Martin. And then these fit in... Wait, I like the blue and then brown and then black. Because it matters what order the books are in. And then my 4-ounce water container. I used to use the 2-ounce one, but it's actually easier to rinse your brush in a 4-ounce one. So this one, yes, I put it in here with water in it and put that in my suitcase. It didn't leak. And water cloths. Water cloths. These things for... Okay, whatever. In the outside pockets. Did I pull these out and use them? No. For some reason, I don't use a cloth anymore. I don't know. I don't. It's weird. And then my wrist brace. If you have strength issues, you need a wrist brace. Specifically if you were painting when you were tired or feeling bad or following a class or learning. Because you're not actually paying attention to your wrist, you're paying attention to what you're painting. and you should be paying attention to your wrist, but it's more fun to pay attention to your painting. You're going to pay attention to your painting instead of your wrist, so get a wrist brace. This one, I'll put a link in the description for you. It's, I got it at the same place, the medical supply place that I got my wheelchair at. She's like, oh, you also need a wrist brace, because we were chatting about all of the health stuff. And she's like, try this one on. And I tried this one on. Look at how it slides on. Like a glove. It doesn't have any of those wrap around thingies that's like, did I get it too tight? Did I not get it tight enough? Because I always got them too tight, and then when you loosen it, then it's not helping you. This is the only one I'll actually use. And then, so I actually traveled with it. If you want to turn it into the left-hand one, there's a little pocket in here, and you slide this, actually it looks like foam. You slide that thing out of this little hole, and then turn the whole thing inside out, and stick it back in, and then you've got a left-handed one. This, I made a video recently, this glitter paints came in this little container, and I stuck crayons in there. I didn't even bring any earth colors. I really wanted a brown, because I wanted to do like tree branches, but I shouldn't have been doing detail work anyway, so that's fine. And then Sharpie, clothespins. I use these. All the things are falling over. Demonstration purposes time. I use this thing that comes on the book for that side, and then use this for this side. And that's how I paint. And then I'll finish this one with these two facing pages and set it to the side, and then open the next book, and then this one will be dry by the time I finish the other two. Stand up. There. I think that was everything. Oh, there's tape. Okay. There's washi tape in there. Did I use washi tape? No. Did I paint much? No. I was too tired. But I had things I could paint if I wanted to. That's everything. I think that's in here. There's nothing in this pocket. I can't really shove this in this pocket, and it's already in a thing. If I put it, the brush is in a thing, in a pocket, I'll never pull them out and use them. It's too much organization, which I think is why it's so nice that this is like open. So I could see it and go, oh, all I have to do is pick up that one thing and then I can paint. Look at that. And then just stuck this, I think, like this in my suitcase. And then was like, oh, I need clothes. Well, that was really fun. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.